What's up, good people? I'm your host, Barry Bondz. I got my co-host with me, Pappy Black, Game Beats, and Outside with Goldie, and this is the Smoke Talk Podcast. What's the topic for tonight, fellas?
Yeah, tonight we gonna get into this mass shooting epidemic, man. Motherfuckers are taking people out at a massive rate.
Mm.
So first off, as we all know, you know what I mean, 18-year-old white man, the Associated Press been calling him a teenager. We gonna call him a white man. Ran up in the Tops supermarket in Buffalo, 200 miles away from his home, to execute Black people.
Mm.
We all know what's going on with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We sure goddamn do. We
All
sure
right.
motherfucking do.
Okay, and it was also a church shooting. It was either the same day or the next day. David Cho shot 6 people, and I think he killed one in California in a church. And first we want to start by saying condolences and prayers to the families of the victims. And may God, look favorably upon y'all through this time of bereavement. But to the podcast, I think it's a dumbass question, but how y'all feel about what's going on?
Well, you gonna start? I would say this. We in the brink of another. Well, it was already a pandemic, but this one is like it's sad that how much we try to level this out. I gotta agree with Charlemagne the God. It's no cure for racism. And I would say this: with all of the media sites pushing this this agenda, what they believe is replacement, is what they call it, replacement. You gotta understand this. You can't keep battling. You think it's someone else's fault because you have a built hatred for them, a prosthetic hatred, something that was put together. And there's no like, we don't bother people. We know everybody got problems. We all human, but we don't. Our people, Black people, Afro Latinos, they don't go and.
Yeah, we only bother each other. But go ahead.
Yeah, because we neighbors. Neighbors always mess with each other. You're right next to you. Who you gonna mess with until you got somebody next to you? But it seemed like every time they have a shooting, racially motivated, they cross. If you go past a mile, bad intentions. I'll just say intentions. If you cross a mile, regardless of why you're crossing it, you're up to something. You're going to go do something. You ain't going to visit mom and none of them. If you go 200 miles and you got weapons of war, you are to start something that, like,
You're going in and out.
With going in and out for. Oh, you know what? Because I wasn't gonna take these motherfuckers out and go right. But can you hear me?
Yeah.
Once you cross the line of going farther down the road, 200 miles, 100 miles state to state, like the white man did that got off for shooting at the Black Lives Matter or whatever that situation was. Like they always push this agenda, and then they take it They just accept what they say and they think they gotta go do something. And it's been these kids. You got the Proud Boys, you got all these other motherfuckers out here, these league of unordinary ass men that commit these atrocities on people of color. But I've noticed that it's always been these young kids they got running out here starting stuff, trying to just like, sprinkle a little something on the fire to let it blow up so that everybody can get involved.
Hey, go.
It's nobody's fault. And I'm gonna just say this about replacement, whatever their ideal is with this racial replacement. You gotta talk to God about that. It's nobody's fault that when you make children with other races, your children look more genetically connected to the other race. It's not like, all right, we walking up in y'all neighborhoods and pulling guns on y'all. Mentally trained, and I'm saying it's sad to say this, but mentally trained, a person that looks like me would bother a person that looks like me before they walk further up the road and bother a person that looks like a white person.
No, there's definitely a specific intent in what this man did. But hey, go with your thoughts and feelings.
Sadly enough, man, my feelings towards it is more or less like I'm getting numb to it, actually, which is scary because it's one of those things where it's happened. And when I say numb, my numbness in regards is to the way that the forces, the police force or the authorities, the way that they actually coddle and handle the person that is doing these things. That's
as opposed to the way they treat us when we do shit.
And opposed to, like I said, because when you hear something like that, like you said, in regards to the people that are affected, if you got any type of heart or you got any type of moral compass, you're going to feel that, condolence and that sorrow and that hurt for them because, we all have families, we all have sisters, we all have brothers, mothers, fathers, so on and so forth. So it's always regardless going to have that type of feeling towards them. You know what I'm saying? But I guess more or less where I'm getting numb and more or less like I'm not even upset to that particular point anymore because now it's expected. It's just more or less the way that the authorities handle them. Like we can go in, we as Black folks can go into a store and look like, something in their eyes. And we
can get shot. We can get shot like that.
Quickly. There's no conversation. There's no, well, he came peacefully. It's, well, let's ask him why or what's going on. Or it's not mental health or anything like that. It's all, he's a animal. He's a criminal. He's a savage. We get all of these, narratives thrown on our names, when the mug shot comes up or when the picture comes up of a Black man that's doing it, they're going to find the worst picture in the world to paint them out to be this particular type of person. Versus when it's a situation on that end of it, they make them seem like that something's wrong with them. They're sick. They didn't mean to do it, or they didn't have any control of it. Like you said, the narrative is spun based off of verbiage. He's an 18-year-old kid. Now, there would have been a 16-year-old Black boy. They would have said that we're going to try him as a man, or he knew what he was doing. Those are the things that more or less, that's highlighted to me versus, what it normally is.
Yeah. Hey, B, tell the people how you feel about what's going on.
I feel we under attack.
That's a good way to say it.
And, it's hard to, with society, it's hard to break it down because I'll give you an example, right? I'm pretty sure you all had a busy day. We all businessmen, right? But you glance through your social media, right? When that buffoonery happened at the Oscars, That shit was everywhere, right?
Yeah. It was
You
like the
don't,
war. It was
you
like the war in Ukraine stopped when that shit
see
happened.
this. You don't see this everywhere today. You don't see this, everything about Buffalo and all that. You know, we're not pushing the narrative on that. We're not doing that. And
I think details of it until today.
huh?
I said I didn't even know the full details of it until today.
Right. So, you know, we under attack, but you know, it's one of them things where a lot of people don't really say shit till it happens to them or something close to them. And until we rally like we do when the Oscars buffoonery happens, it's just going to be swept under the rug, and we'll just be, oh no, there's another mass shooting in Colorado. Oh, it's another mass shooting on blacks here. Just one thing after another. Attention span is fucked up, man. We pay attention to bullshit. You know what I mean? As a community, you know, we rallied long enough just for the. There will be a time with this era where social media will change and Instagram won't be the shit, and you know it'll change. But until then, that's what we're doing. So we under attack. I believe we're under attack. Not to get off the subject, we under attack. But you know that shit is like swept under the rug already. They you know, it's all the same, man. They treat my man. They treat him gentle. You know, they don't want to hurt him. You know, it's racism, man, right in our face.
Yeah, they definitely treated that boy with that man with they treated him very they treated him very delicately.
It's racism right in our face. I mean,
and
clear as day, they letting it be known. It's different now. You know, forget the back of the bus shit. We're gonna do it right in front of your face now.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this. I feel like that replacement theory is being pushed a lot by the white supremacist movement and the neo-Nazi movement and the far right wing.
Don't call that shit no movement. That's terrorism.
Well, call it what you want, but it's being pushed by the far right government too. And if you look at you know any of their news outlets, Fox News and so on and so forth, you know Tucker Carlson is talking that shit every day, and the reason why a man so young, the men are so young doing this is because they're the ones that's being indoctrinated by when you affect the children, you affect the future. You understand what I'm saying? So this man had said something about shooting up his school last year. And that got swept up under the rug. You know what I'm saying? He went to go see a therapist about it and they deemed him good. Then his parents tried to blame it on COVID.
That's shit that's bothering me. That shit bothering me too.
You know,
that twisted narrative and shit.
And I'm gonna say this, man. The whole United States went through 2020 at the same time. So with that being said, would that give everybody the excuse that the isolation of lockdown and all of that made everybody go do a mass shooting? Like, that's preposterous. That is the dumbest shit I ever heard. Bro. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing,
if everybody got a ticket before COVID, when it got to a point where the vaccine started coming out, those tickets came right through the mail, and we were still held liable for the shit that we did a year ago. They even let us park on the old parking passes for that year that they couldn't do no work.
You know, he came from a well-to-do family. You know what I'm saying? So
I know about his story.
He didn't have to.
I'm just saying that if they're gonna try to blame it on COVID, you still had to deal with whatever you dealt with after they got to a point where COVID was somewhat contained or there was a remedy that was helpful for it, that fucking mail still came. So if they gonna try to blame that shit on COVID, which is fucking insane, he still should be held liable. COVID was in 19.
My point is, even though he came from a well-to-do family, so he didn't have to face the financial shit that a lot of the people we know had to deal with not being able to pay their rent or, not being able to work, jobs shutting down and all that shit. He didn't have to face none of that shit. He was good. So if that could be an excuse for him, then what would be the excuse for the person who didn't know where their next meal was coming from and went out and robbed somebody and say, look, man, it was COVID.
That shit came in the mail. They ain't had no excuse. They still had to pay.
My point is, when a black person do some shit, that would never even be considered an excuse.
Right.
They would have shot that shit smooth down.
I'm running off of what you're saying and saying that, yeah, this is an example of why. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit.
Like, I just feel like, in order for us as a people to have any type of power, man, we got to get some political power, man. All the money in the world won't change nothing, bro. But our people we not engaged in politics like that. Only a select few. But everybody, we hate politicians. We hate politicians. That's because ain't nobody in there you voted for. That's because that's not somebody you put in office. That's why you don't care. You know what I'm saying? And but these are the people that are making legislation. These are people who are being lenient on white offenders and harsh on black offenders. This is the reason why you could have $1 billion and still be looked at as a nigga.
You want to know why though? Is because political power and money run parallel. The difference is you have to know how to utilize your money for political power. That's the difference.
Go ahead.
And what it is sadly enough, with our people, we may get or we may have the money in certain scenarios, but we don't know how to use the money. We want to spend it versus using it. It's a big difference between spending and using.
Right.
And just to go a little bit deeper, that comes from what we've all been subjected to, what our ancestors were subjected to. They were kept away from all of that stuff. So when you finally give it to me, what you expect me to do? Blow it.
Right.
We gotta get out of that mind state though. Because what's the first thing Jeff Bezos did? He got down and started using his money in politics because he knows, first of all, the richest people in the world don't pay no taxes. Who is for not taxing the richest people in the world? The Republicans. So what they do, they get down with the party because they protecting their money, they protecting their investment. You understand what I'm saying? We don't think to do shit like that.
Right. But going back to what I was saying, though, gang, that's what you were talking about when it says you can have all the money of the world, but if you don't have any political power, it doesn't matter. You have to know that when it comes to political power, it's based off of money. When they have, for example, when you have a convention or when you have these fundraisers and shit like that, all of these people that have this money, which you're going to have a certain amount of money to even get in these rooms. Once you get in these rooms, you're networking with politicians. So therefore, you are able to make sure whatever you may want to be done is being done. So let's just say, for example, theoretically speaking, me and Barry's invested into electric vehicles and batteries, right? Now, let's say we want to build a factory in Newark, right? But we don't have anywhere zoned to be able to build this factory. Now I can go to this fundraiser for X party, let's say Republican Party, talk to, let's say, the one of the congressmen in New Jersey and be like, hey, we need to have this rezoned over here. And then I give you an envelope with 50,000, 100,000.
You make your donation, and he do what he got to do.
Make sure that happens. So now we got a zone now that we can do that. So that's where your power comes in regards to using your money to basically get in the room with, or get in the bed, quote unquote, as they say, with politicians.
Correct, but you have to. It's more than just. For me, I'm saying this. It's more than just endorsing.
Oh, it's more.
It's more than just endorsing your candidate, man. You got to, like you said, you got to get in the room with these motherfuckers. You got to rub shoulders and see who's pushing your agenda, and that's how you get people in there that's going to help out our cause. Until we do that, bro. Go ahead, fool.
Got to change our mindsets have been programmed. When our people get in positions of power like that, all we do is shine on each other. When a woman is educated, she utilizes her education to down the first person that doesn't talk to her a certain type of way. When our men are educated, they only think about, well, they don't fight for what they can do. They just deal with what they got. Like, I'll take care of my family. I can't take care of everybody else. Because when you're enlightened on the political views of how to work in the political world, like you're saying, where, all right, we got to rub shoulders with them and understand what they're doing. Once they get in, look at what the lady doing with Young Thug and all these people. Black woman, you would look and say, all right, well, you know what? They probably doing something messed up. Not all of them. Some of the people just know motherfuckers. But the way she come across, it's like every time we get in a position of power, we got to prove to the people that's in power that we ain't about to be different or bipartisan because we black. They do the shit harder to us. Like, all right, cool. They'll say, all right, well, listen, these are the maximum sentences. They impose them. Our people impose them when they get in those. All right, well, we gonna give you the max. Why? For what? Like, I had an experience, lost license for a long time. Go to the judge, black judge. One down in North, one down in Maplewood, one up in Maplewood, one in Union. Yeah, I was fucking up real bad. I was tearing up the street. Go to see these judges, right? They like, well, where the hell you been? I said, shit, I had got a good job and I couldn't afford to pay you niggas, so I stayed away from y'all. Y'all ain't come get me, right? So they gave me contempt instead of the actual fine. But this one judge, the black judge in Maple, he was determined to make an example out of me. I was like maybe one of 4 black people in that fucking sold out crowd in the court. It was so many white people in that motherfucker, man. You know, I wanted to play some James Judd or some shit. Like, he was like, well, I think that you should pay. I said, well, listen, I understood the situation from the courts that I went to because my situation was long. And I was like, listen, the court, no, you know, I know they different, but he was like, yo, no leniency. I think you should pay the full fine. I'm like, man, I'm trying to recover from what I did. Sit in the back, we're going to have a talk. So they put you behind the line and you sit in the court and then you got to just state it. And everybody else go. Kid goes up in there, this motherfucker done shot out a piece of real. Shot a piece of real window out with a fucking, one of them air shit guns. It's one of the ones that'll fuck you up if they hit you in the right place. Man, he gave this motherfucker no never mind. Oh, it's just he was just being stupid. It seemed like every time we get in a place of position, we start to do for Delta.
Because you know why?
I understand it to a certain degree.
You know why? Because
you know why? Because we fucked up Well, how many people you know that's like us, that if a motherfucker says some shit disrespectful, we'll go see him. But if a motherfucker was up in goddamn the suburbs, we'll tell him to come down this motherfucker. Or we won't go up there.
Hey, bro, but the reason why I be like that is because the person above that black judge or the body that's above him, it's white people, man.
So why you want to be a part of something? Why you want to be a part of something that you can't, that you're not intending to try to make change in?
I definitely
agree
with him when it comes to, as weird as it sounds, I've been pulled over by a white cop this years ago. It's like 20 years ago. And my registration was expired, whatever like that, you know. He told me, look, man, get that car home, man. You ain't see me, man. I got pulled over by a black cop, man. They pull over, man. Can't let
gave you every ticket he could give you.
Yo, everything that you could have possibly had to
promise you.
He had to make sure he had all of that on there. That they told him when he called him back in the car.
But look,
I'm trying to give you like, hey, bro, listen, I'm gonna just hit you with this seatbelt, man. Keep it rocking.
Hey, look, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm defending the motherfuckers because they dead wrong.
No, you're not. But
a white, but look, a white judge or a white police officer has more leniency to use discretion.
I don't know why it's like that.
Because they don't.
I'm gonna give my example too, because I understand where y'all coming from because I've dealt with it beforehand. But I'm kind of on the same accord as Game, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we're looking at it from a different lens. When it comes to that person that's in that position, they already don't want them in that position anyway. So the actual standards that they have are going to be twice as much as the standard that they're going to have for their white counterpart in that situation. So let's take a black judge.
So wait a minute, Go. Not only is it that they don't want him in that spot, or they do want him in that spot to do their bidding.
Exactly, to do their dirty.
So it could be one or the other, but it ain't never in the middle. Like, nigga, do what you got to do. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's basically what it is, because now it's like, let's just say, for example, you have a black judge or a black DA, and they have to answer to a superior, which is a council of white people. So now they're finna go through all their information, their details, tooth and nail. Oh, well, you know what? You had this situation with Tyrone Smith, and you gave him the minimum on this. Or you went through this with this particular person and gave them the minimum on that one. So they're going to nitpick every single thing that they do because of them being in that position. Not saying that you don't have, I don't use the term Uncle Tom anymore because I found out what the definition of that is, but you use the other people that get some authority and feel like, hey, you know, I'm going to be harder on my own people because they do exist. So I'm with you 100%. I've been pulled over by a black cop and a white cop, and the whole situation has been completely different, but also I've been pulled over by a racist white cop. So, I mean, it's just based off the people themselves of how that particular portion of it goes. But generally, most people that are in those positions, you have to ride the actual line and basically kind of do whatever is needed to be done. To
status quo.
But wait a minute.
To get to a position where you can actually make some actual changes. Take Jay-Z, for example, right? So Jay-Z, if he came in there, when it came to the situation with, let's take the NFL, Super Bowl, or any other thing that he's connected with, if he comes in there on, fuck that, we're going to change this stuff and this is going to be all black, fuck y'all, this is how we doing it, he's not even going to have the opportunity to get into that room. So it's all about knowing how to negotiate and know when to actually, use your power and when to actually say enough to stay in that room. If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
Didn't Ketanji Brown know that before she wanted to be a judge? Didn't Jay-Z know that it was gonna be like that when he tried to intervene, when he tried to get involved in there? Like, you already know that this is going to be a thing. If you go in there just to ride the wave and you ain't going there to shake the room, then you're not doing it for the actual cause. You're doing it for yourself.
But Jay-Z actually, Jay-Z.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Hold on, gang. Let me ask you this question. If you shake the room on the bottom floor, do the people on the top floor even hear you?
No, the building falls back.
No, because you're going to go through filters. So basically, skyscrapers are designed to, if something happens on the bottom row, that those rows go down first. It's based off sections. So you can go in rah, shake that bottom level, but your noise never even gets to that top level.
Depending on how you go about things.
Hey yo,
opportunity.
Hey yo,
it kind of has something to do with how you go about things. Now, I'm not saying that. Yeah, but at the same time, if I join a coalition full of bad guys, I know what I'm signing up for, and I know that I can't go in there and be a good guy.
You
not
can
off
though.
the rip and try to change that organization.
But let
so
me
when
say
I
this.
join, I'm joining it for what the organization stands for. So when you got the black people that are put in these positions, Obama ain't do shit for nobody.
But he was being blocked at every turn. See, look.
I get that.
But check it.
I seen Trump pull up more fucking rugs than Obama attempted to in 8 years, in 4 years than his 8.
Trump had more backing too.
Trump
he had more backing.
Bro, if you got asbestos and you disturb it, it's going to get you sick. He pulled the rug. Obama didn't touch certain shit.
He couldn't.
He could have. You can't say he couldn't. He's the president of the United States.
But there's a balance of each arm of it. You know, you got. See, this is the thing. Like Gang was saying with Trump. With Trump being a Republican, the Republicans had the majority of the House.
They had the Senate.
That's understood. That's understood. But the way that shit is structured, even though he had the people that would make it pass, they ain't the only ones used to filibuster like that. The Democrats don't do shit. All they do is sit back and be like, well, we're going to let the people vote them out.
But look, watch this though. Watch this though.
My point is that when we so put in pocket.
I know where you're going with it.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, we so put in pocket that we make sense out of shit that we don't want to touch because we know we can't touch it. So what is the point of thinking that we could be saviors in this shit? Get our own shit and then battle.
Then how you gonna get your own shit? How?
It's a whole bunch of whatever we don't know that can be done. But we don't pull that brother up and find out, bro.
Hey, bro.
We fall in line all the time. Every
what happened
time we touch power.
What happened to Black Wall Street?
Bro.
What happened to it?
Bro, they doing that shit now and nobody's doing it.
That's the point.
What happened to it?
That's my point. What happened to it?
All right, so then why join the organization and expect everybody to be like, all right, well, is she black? I'm glad she. Come on, if you're not going there to do nothing but be black, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm just
asking. If we gonna die at the supermarket for buying food because some stupid motherfucker want to shoot, why won't we go out there and risk our motherfucking lives to live?
Nigga, we risk our lives to go outside, nigga.
Man, we risk our lives and we risk our lives so that Tyrone don't take my Timbs.
Bro.
We risk our lives over gold chains and shit like Barry was talking about.
Hey, bro.
We don't risk our lives for the true fucking me. You want war? Let's go to fucking war. Or not.
That shit sound good.
I'm not telling you to do it. I'm saying if you're gonna be for a cause.
Hey, bro, what happened every time? What happens every time niggas do something? What happened to Black Wall Street? You never answered that question.
They scared to die for a cause or reason or anything else that makes sense or have a morale. Because
what happened to Black Wall Street?
We've been brainwashed. Yeah, that was another thing.
What happened to it?
Doing that made sure that we don't rebel. We don't give a fuck about nothing but shit
Black
like
Wall Street
that.
Black Wall Street was a rebellion, bro. It was a rebellion against the U.S. economy.
And could somebody tell me what happened to it?
No, I'm not saying that Black Wall Street was rebellion. I'm saying that them bombing it, them blowing up Black Wall Street, said, "Try me, niggas."
I mean,
now wait a minute. That was go ahead, B. Go ahead, B. Because you ain't said nothing. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we under siege, man. Like everything is fucked up.
So look.
It's been 19 weeks this year. It's 198 mass shootings, man.
And you don't got nothing else but niggas killing niggas. Take your ass up to Livingston and handle your business when a nigga act out of pocket. Don't be shooting up Poppy. Poppy let my mother get a loaf of bread when she ain't no money.
What happened? I got another question. What happened? What happened to Black Lives Matter?
Who the fuck is they?
What happened to them?
What happened to black people matter? What happened to the motherfuckers?
I can't get an answer for nothing. I can't get an answer for nothing.
Answer it.
I can't get an answer for nothing.
Answer it, gang. What happened to them?
They went and said the motherfuckers are stealing. They discredit or destroy everything we build.
We don't got enough of them.
Discredit, destroy, or completely take it over.
Which Black Lives Matter is owned by whom now?
I don't even know he brought that shit up anyway, man. Everybody knew that.
They said they was using donation money for personal shit, bro. Like, yo, we never
buy mansions and shit.
Huh?
Buying mansions and shit in Atlanta.
Right. Like,
I mean, that's kind of internal shit, right? That's kind of internal shit. You know?
That's the shit they do.
To cast negativity on it, so therefore it loses credibility.
They tanked it.
Right.
They tanked it.
I get what you're saying.
Wait a minute. What they do to Waxlash when he was running for president over in Haiti? They said he was stealing campaign money. Come on, man.
It happens every time. That's what they say.
So my point is,
we discredited enough for that shit to go on.
My point is, it's not just about let's get together and get our own.
Ain't nobody even saying that shit. I'm not telling nobody to rebel. I'm telling niggas to change their mind.
I didn't say rebel. You said we need to get our own shit.
That's a part of the conversation that I'm having. That's a part of the point I'm trying to make. But what I'm telling you, my main point about it, we all fucked up, bro, and it's not going to change. So the only thing that's going to change it is natural shit.
I'm not going to say it's not going to change.
You can't make a white baby with black people. That's why they shooting that narrative, because it's theologically it's true. It's going to happen. Every time they have an offspring with someone of a different culture, they carry those traits more. So we can't change the world the way it is now. We can't go in there and do nothing. They're gonna stop us. I'm not telling nobody to go in on that route and do it.
But bro, just for example,
I'm saying find another way mentally. Find another way to come from get out of the shit that they stuck us in.
Hey, bro, just for example, and I know this is small scale, but y'all used this as a example earlier, so I'm gonna use it now. Jay-Z got in with the NFL, right? He did shake the room. He couldn't get Kaepernick a job, but he did shake the room. He had an all-black halftime show.
But the point I'm trying to make is how many motherfuckers will accept the way he think. I can't even tell a motherfucker about making money because they don't like the way I'm saying it to them.
Yeah, but it ain't, see,
it's brainwashed, bro. Your mindset won't allow you to accept no new information.
I disagree.
With our people, that seems to be the cause, because we're willing to accept some free shit in the smallest margin, but we won't go for the big shit because it looked like it's too difficult to do.
No, because
they made sure that we thought the last nigga you took a lot of work. When all they did was steal.
The last nigga you saying go for the big shit, you seen what happened to him.
Because it was only one of them.
It's a deterrent.
It's only one of them. If it was 100 motherfuckers like him, bro, it'd have been something different.
No, they would just took out the
It
100,
was,
man.
bro. It was 100 motherfuckers like him. Black Wall Street, and they took them all out at the same
together,
time.
bro. Not
They
at the same time, bro.
It was a whole, bro. They had the other one that was in Central Park. I forget the name of that community.
Bro,
they took it and put Central Park there,
bro.
Black Panther Park,
bro. You want to know why? You want to know why these motherfuckers respect terrorists and try to make deals with these motherfuckers? Because they willing to walk somewhere up on a motherfucker and a bomb on their own body and blow up the whole fucking block.
Wrong.
They not mentally fucked up, bro. They like, listen, if I'm not gonna let this have us.
The reason why they have that type of negotiation with others is because they have their own and they have something that they need. They need something from them.
That's why.
When it comes to us, listen, hold on, fool. When it comes to us as Black folks in America, what do they actually need from us?
Nothing.
Cheap
labor.
We need them.
Bro,
cheap labor.
Bro, they need us more than you know. The problem is,
give me an example.
We don't belong to shit.
Give me an example.
They're not going to be held responsible for treating us wrong.
Give me an example of what they need us for.
What are you talking about? We're the biggest consumers on the fucking planet.
They can make that up.
Chinese people don't buy shit from America unless we make it popular. What are you talking about?
Hey, bro.
Here's the counter to that, though, fool. How do we become consumers?
By being taught to be a consumer.
What do you need in order? Hold on. Listen to me.
They taught me how to work for somebody.
Listen, exactly. They told you how to work. So what does it take for you to be a consumer?
Money.
What do you have? Money. Who pays you?
Them.
That's because that's the way the world is.
Exactly. So this is what I'm telling you. So based off the way that the world goes, again, in order for you to be the number one consumer, that means that you have to go work. Who are you working for? Are you working for a Black CEO? Are you working for a Black owner? No, you're working for them. So at the end of the day, going back to what I was saying, when it's the difference between us and say Afghanistan or say Iraq or anybody over there on that end of it, there's some sort of natural resource or there's something that they need out of them for their interest for them to negotiate that shit.
And they'll put up with their terrorism. They'll put up with their shit. They'll put
as
up
long
with
as they're getting what they want.
They'll put up with their communism. They'll put up like, bro, China is a communist country. We fuck with them.
Why?
The U.S. fuck with them because they got shit we need. Because they make everything. Everything in your house was made in China.
They make
shit. Hell yeah! If I can get a motherfucking plate for $1 instead of 12, yeah, of course it makes sense. Because you only got a fucking $1.
But that's my point.
It makes sense at the surface of it. You're looking at it again as a consumer. So from a consumer standpoint, I can pay $1 for this. It's going to be cheap labor. Why don't I do this? But what you're doing is you're stimulating their economy. Their economy's booming over there. They're fine.
I'm not speaking as a consumer. I'm
not speaking as you specifically. I'm speaking us as in regular people.
And you want to know why? Because this shit is what we've been taught. We've been slave whipped into this shit, and we can't get out.
We can't. And you want to know why we can't get out? Because going back, we just went full circle. Goes back to what Sir Game said at the beginning of it. We have no political what?
Power.
You want to know why? Because we don't think that there's more of us than it is of them. Because we can't live. Yes, it is. We can't live next door to a motherfucker without being mad at a parking spot. How the fuck I'm gonna get him to be my brother and go to war with me if I'm thinking that this nigga won't keep pulling up too far to the curb?
Hey, bro, if we had something they needed, they'd have to put up with our shit too.
Exactly.
We ain't gonna get to none of that shit if we don't change the way we think. We gotta evolve as people, bro. We all out here by ourselves. It's bro. Everybody is me, myself, and I.
We evolved as people. I'll give you an example.
We doing better, but we ain't.
Listen, but this is the thing. If you have somebody or a group of people that have the power to be able to make something function, that is what actually moves things versus numbers. You can have numbers all you want, but if you don't have the right people to be able to make things happen, it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying, though. With our minds the way that it is, we can't get nothing in numbers. We are divided. And we're gonna be like that because we don't change what we've been built to do. We treat other people nice. We talk with a different tone of voice at work. All because it's a fucking defense mechanism, so you don't lose what you need to live on your own.
Because who
we'll
are
never
you
get to the big picture
on?
because we so divided now.
You have to go to work. You have to go to work. You have to talk with that voice. You have to do all this because what do you want? You want that boss, that Bob Cobb, the big face white man that writes signs in front of your checks. You want him to keep signing them checks so you can live and survive. So at the end of the day, you change your mindset ain't got shit to do with him signing.
Yeah, that shit is survival.
Bro, I get all that. I get all that because like I said, I understand that that's how it is now. Well, I'm talking about the tomorrow. I'm talking about the new black people. I'm talking about when we find a way to accept each other so that we can do what the fuck they doing and be able to be somebody other than just black people, which ain't even no fucking no goddamn nationality or nothing. We gotta be something in order to be in a position where that don't have to be it no more. I know it's that way now. Nobody needs to explain that to me. I'm just saying that.
I'm gonna say this. We need more doctors, lawyers. We need more engineers. We need more scientists. We need more leaders, bro. Like the shit that we are impressed by. Like all black people want to either be in, well, not all, but most black people want to be in fashion, music, entertainment, some type of way, sports, or they want to be influencers, bro. That has no effect on the world. We are not in the industries.
Nobody was taught when they went to school about leadership. They always knew who was the leaders.
Can you teach leadership?
Because leadership can't be taught.
Bro, I don't think that's a taught thing. That's understandable. But don't beat my point just so you can understand. I'm trying to give you some understanding on where I'm coming from when it comes to our people and what needs to change. I'm not saying that the shit you talking about and the shit I'm talking about, I'm like, all right, cool, we should do this. I know that shit ain't easy. With a different mindset, you've met people that think slightly like you, and y'all agree with shit, right? And then you'll be like, all right, word, but what about this? And you be like, all right, well, you know, man, them motherfuckers, I ain't gonna be the one go out there or to no fucking protesting. And motherfuckers going pop my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like the logic is mental discouragement from the past years and everything in our history. When we change the way we think, people won't talk about, oh, well, you know, we got, even though we at the top of this ladder, we still got to fuck with the board and it's all white. Bro, they won't talk like that. They're going to be saying comments. They're going to have conversations like, yo, let's go ahead and see how it is to make another Wall Street. Make another one and make another one and make another one. But it got to start from people changing their mind, bro. Too many people like us accept the shit that's going on because we can't beat it mentally. Well, the only reason you can't beat it is because it ain't nobody else telling you something that you don't know. Half of the motherfuckers that grew up with us don't even know that it's fucking easy to buy a house. You don't have to use your money. But when you tell them that shit, what they do, they leave the paperwork in their email. They don't fucking go anything. They don't, anything you send them, they don't read it back to you like, yo, what this mean? I sent it to you for a reason. That's all coming from us being fucked up in the mind, bro. And when we start to change the way we think, I changed the way I think from listening to people like Barry, Gang, Goldie, different mindsets, right? And I can accept where you coming from, especially when we're talking about something productive and something that we can bring to the family. I ain't never heard none of y'all talk about something that wasn't something that I didn't use to get where I'm at right now. But I'm one person that is willing to change the way he thinks. And I believe that all the stuff that they instilled in us, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna go down there and tell these motherfuckers, this ain't the right birth certificate. My name ain't spelled in all capitals. How do we correct this? Bugged them so much, they changed the shit. Whether it matter or not, what I wanted to do got done. If I can get 100 people to think like that without them thinking that I'm trying to terrorize their life or change the way they feel some type, then I would be helpful. But we so fucked up, bro. If Barry's like, I'm about to show you how to make $1 million right now. And I'll be like, all right, show me. All right, cool. Meet me here at 6 o'clock. Now that's too much. Now I gotta go where he want me to go to be where. That's how we think. Instead of get the fuck there, be on time, and be ready to understand. Nobody want to understand. They like, all right, cool. Only thing we understand, they winning, we losing. All right, cool. So let me be cool for my family's sake. Because I can't beat them.
All right,
niggas
so look,
knocking on your door
I understand what he's saying on that point.
I get it too. I'm not saying he's wrong.
He's kicking it. I mean, that's
we done it. We nowhere near in charge. So on the flip side of that, with the white man killing them white men killing our people, nothing being done about it. You know, it's just sad that we can't even snap out of the mental chamber we in to say, you know what? If they're going to slap me with 50 years in prison because I went and did something about what this motherfucker did to these innocent black people, I'm not telling nobody to go out there and do nothing to nobody. I'm just saying mentally, it would make me be like, you know what? I'm going to walk down the street and talk to the black guy that lived at the house down there. I want to have a conversation with him about this shit and see if he knows something that I don't know, that maybe we can get some shit going. Well, we can get some motherfucking real people in the political situations, or probably ourselves. Because, I mean, if all the people that in the Republicans that be trying to get voted in, these motherfuckers be clowns off the street. And then they get a fucking position. So shit, I could be a Congress. All I got to do is convince a bunch of motherfuckers that I'm better than the other guy. But just to be able to have a conversation where we can get motherfuckers to say, all right, we all was invited to this shit. Let's go. Because he might not be giving us no money, or it might not be no food there, or it might not be no fucking drinks afterwards in a party. That he might be actually having some shit to say. And then it might be able to affect the way that we do things, where we can get everybody to say, you know what? We going with them. And then you can reinvent Black Wall Street. You can turn Wall Street to Black Wall Street, but not with a divided mentality, not with a mindset where destruction is acceptable because it's coming from the people who run shit. Mob bosses get shot too. They locking up the gang, but they locking up everybody in the gang. They just ain't locking up the other gangs. Somebody got to get them. I'm not telling them.
Hey, look, man, we out of time. Good shit, fellas.
My bad, man. I ain't mean
nah,
that.
Are you good? Oh, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor.
When the village in the system.
Yeah, that shit got me riding right today.
Our sponsor, Villanas, distilled and blended according to a unique, closely guarded family recipe. It's a smooth, balanced, and complex with luxurious aromas of vanilla, spice, and toasted oat. It's best enjoyed neat or with a single large ice cube, but equally well suited to countless cocktails. Y'all got to go try this. This is it right here.
Yes, sir.
Beyond.
Best cognac.
Podcast.
Best cognac in the world. Hey, yo. So I know we usually end it with saying something to the people, but we over. So till next week, fellas. Until next week, people. And this episode has been sponsored and powered by Jenko, beyond the best cognac in the world. Peace.
Peace.
I keep going.